Good afternoon. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm...
What am I going to do now?
Don't worry mate, I've got your back up. I know it's time, but statistics state that the best man's speech should only last as long as it takes the groom to make love.
That's our job, don't it?
Mike is yours.
Right, for those who don't know me, I'm John's brother. So I'd like to start off with a high five for all the crew mob that have made it over. And a high six to the Jersey crowd that made the show too. Just watch your bags. Right, the best man's speech is supposed to be the longest or most embarrassing 5 minutes of the groom's day. But as you all probably know, John is such a lovely guy that trying to think of anything to show him up is virtually impossible. For example, we were in our bag for the stag do, and I know what you're all thinking, loads of gossip. To be honest, it was the total opposite. In fact, the only funny thing he did was talk to the taxi driver in a German accent, and I hope you will understand him. Where are we going? So what can I say? As a kid, I gave me mad a few fights. We were still playing hide and seek with it without saying no one. He once hid under a butcher's sign while I was shopping with it on a busy day. This left there thinking he'd been snatched, only for him to reappear with a smile on his face, having the whole street looking for him. He also did a similar vanishing act in nursery. At the end of the day, when all the other mums and dads were collecting their kids, John left me mad at the gates, only to find out the whole school staff were looking for him. He was eventually found under the school stage, hidden behind all the toys that the teachers had put back away. In recent years, he's been known to play a similar game with Jemma. Find what Pomme. He was always good at keeping us out for an extra 15 minutes or so during the summer nights. My mouth shouted him, and when John didn't answer, she'd send me back out to get him. When finding him, he'd turn round to me and say, "Don't turn me in, he'll get stay out too." So to me, it was a no-brainer. I get to stay out a bit longer and he get the blame. Our John has been known to be a pretty lucky guy. He could pop into the bookies, put £1 on, and walk out 5 minutes later with £50 in his arse pocket. But no more has he ever been luckier than a day that a flying kick right through our lobby door. There was glass all around him, and not a mark on him. I'm not sure who was aiming the kick at, like. So having known him all his life, it's a pleasure to see him grow up into the person he has done. I'm not only proud to call him my brother, but one of my best friends. Thanks for choosing me to be one of your best men. It's great to see he's met such a lovely girl in Jemma. He looks great today, by the way. As I was starting to get a bit worried about John and Julian until you came along. That's for now.
Go on, handsome.
Thanks.
That's me, it's definitely me.
I was going to play Zcars on my mobile phone a minute ago, but I'll leave it. Good afternoon, everyone. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Julian. Please excuse me if I mess this up or if I offend anyone in any way, but I'm extremely nervous. In fact, I'm that nervous, I actually pulled this out of my underpants about 20 minutes ago. I've been briefing myself all day. Now, as one of the best men, John's asked me to prepare a few lines. But the last time he asked me to do that, he woke up next to a 40-stone prostitute in Hamburg. Sorry, your secret's out. Anyway, I'd like to start my speech today by saying a few words about John William Murray. John is caring, John is loving, John is funny, John is suave, John is No, sorry, I can't read your handwriting there, lad. No. That's not even how you spell suave, either. I think I'll stick to my own speech.
Thanks.
As I say, a lot of you already know me. For those of you who don't, I first met John about 6 years ago working at the Royal Bank of Canada. John had just joined our team, and I think it's fair to say that he made looking busy an absolute art form. Turns out that we were actually at Chilwell Comprehensive at the same time also. He obviously wasn't that important to remember, like. As soon as I found out he was from Chilwell Comp, I knew we were going to be really good mates, just as we are today. Now, it was probably about a year ago when John asked me to be his best man along with Rob, and I'll always remember it. I'll never forget it. You know, it was a really, really special occasion in a man's life, and he actually bought me a pint. So, I knew it meant a lot to him. Look, I'm not saying John isn't generous, but he's that tight. I've only ever seen him breathe in. Now, in all seriousness, John's one of the most generous people I know. He'd do absolutely anything for anyone. And I just wanted to know how immensely proud and honoured I am to be stood here today as one of his best men. That's where your applause. Just wanted to do it. So anyway, last night, I made sure John didn't get absolutely hammered. He stayed over at mine with Mark. Well, I say Mark stayed over, he basically just raided the fridge all night. Sorry, lad. Anyway, we just had 1 or 2 beers to settle him down, and I bring up the subject of the big honeymoon and start chatting away about Mexico and all the stuff that he's got planned. And I get up and go to the kitchen to pour a few more drinks, and I'm listening in as Mark starts to go on about what had happened if the flights got cancelled or something. So we hear John say, well, if there are any cancellations, I'm just going to Bangor for the weekend. Which Mike Kelly reliably informs me is a beautiful part of Wales. Sorry. Didn't apologise if it was going to offend anyone. I think it's fair to say that the foundations of our friendship have been built on competitiveness. We're always winding each other up or competing for something. But it's refreshing that after 6 years, he's finally given in and admitted that I am the best man. In fact, now's probably as good a time as any to squeeze a small matter of Everton actually being a better team than Liverpool too. Now John will always know that on the 9th of February 2013, not only were Everton quite snug above Liverpool in the table, and have been for some time, might I add, but he also got hitched by a good old Evertonian vicar too. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, lad. Now, as I say, John and I love to compete with each other. Now, our competitiveness is never more so at times than when the pair of us get together for a round of golf. We love it. And in certain months of the year, John dreams golf, he lives golf, he loves golf. If only he could actually play golf. He's that bad. He's the only person I know who's had their ball retriever re-gripped. You like that? I didn't think that I'd get a laugh, but it did. Anyway, this time last week, we're down with his arms, and he only hit 2 decent balls, and that was when he stood on a rake. Okay, what's next? John's brilliant at football. Right, that's that done. As we all know, John's great passion in life, other than Jemma, of course, is football. Now, not a lot of people know this, but at the tender age of 16, John had the opportunity to turn professional. Sadly, there were 2 reasons the opportunity was snatched away. his left foot and his right foot. Sorry, lad. Now, although John's a clever lad, and he's got bags and bags of common sense, every now and then he'll come to me for a little bit of advice. And on this occasion, he come to me to recommend a new aftershave. So, I gave him a few names, and he went off to Boyson's on his lunch hour. He gets back and says, I said to him, which one did you like? Well, they all smelled the same, so I didn't know which one to choose. I said, what do you mean they all smelled the same? They don't. You must have picked up the little cardboard samples and give them a sniff, like, you know. So what did they smell of? To which his response was, paper. He'd been in the shop for 20 minutes, right? Smelt all the samples, but not once sprayed the aftershave on them. That's true. If you're wondering why he's never bought you a bottle of perfume, that's probably why. Right, John and Jemma. Now, I shouldn't really say this, but when John first met Jemma, he was already in a relationship with me.
Lucky John.
He just moved into Lower Kingscliff from the flat below mine, and I had ideals of being party central, you know, a real lad's pad. How wrong was I? Jim came along and ruined everything. Sorry. I had to be content with such house events as our own versions of Come Dine With Me and quiz nights in drinking rosé. To be honest, it was quite hard to come to terms with, you know, losing my best mate to a girl and all that. I mean, what could she ever offer you that I couldn't?
What's she got?
Anyway, they soon moved on to pastures new, and look at them now. I love the pair of them to death, and I think it's obvious that in each other they found their soulmates and one true love. Jem, I'd just like to say you look 1 in a million today, love. And John, well, you look like you were winning a raffle.
You're right.
As all couples do, they've had their ups and downs and come through it on the other side stronger. But I think it's fair to say that Jem's had it tough, bless her. You can't say you're the most romantic man in the world, can you, mate? I mean, she just stepped out of the shower, wet hair up in a towel, wearing a onesie, and you get down on one knee and propose. Nice touch, mate. In fact, John's that romantic. The last time Jemma had a candlelit dinner was when we had the power cuts last year. Couldn't believe this one. Poor Jemma. One night, they're lying there in bed, John's in fetal position, getting his head down. Jemma goes in for a nice spoon and cuddle and puts her hand on his bum. John then farts. And with the shock, Jemma cupcaked herself and fully consumes the wrath of John's behind. Again, this is a classy man we're talking about here. Now, in all seriousness, as Rob said earlier, it's virtually impossible to think of anything to show John. He's an extremely amiable person, and Jemma couldn't have chosen a better man to spend the rest of her life with. I wish you both the very best for your future together. And just like this banana, I hope you have a very long and fruitful relationship. It's a bit brown.
He's lost his card.
Oh, I've got it. I'm gonna do a toast.
I love him. He is lovely.
Too young for you. Right, so what can I say? It's been an emotional day, even the cake's in tears.
Everyone, can I ask you all to stand for a toast?
Right, to Mr.
And Mrs.
John
Murray.
Murray.